day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. This is show number 43. That means we have been doing this for 43 weeks in a row. If this is your first time here, where have you been? Glad that you're here. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook at facebook.com/New Eurekan Poets. And on YouTube, look up New Eurekan Poets Cafe. The show for tonight is being filmed, and you can see the recording on there afterwards if you want to come back, see how you did, or you want to hear someone else's poem. Once again, in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the Zoom number 279-995-364. If you would like to join us, as I said, I'm your host, Advocate of Words. You can find me on all the social medias at Advocate of Words. That is one word. And when you spell words, that's with a Z, because, poetic license. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at neweurekan.org/contribute or on Cash App to New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Here are some rules for the performing poets. You must have your camera on. If you were at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe and we were on the open mic, we'd see your beautiful face. Put your camera on when you are performing. Poets have 4 minutes to perform, read their poems. I'm going to call you. I'm going to choose you. I'm going to say, hey, what's up? Let's hear your poem. You're going to share your poem afterwards. You're going to do so within 4 minutes. Afterwards, you're going to share your social media so all of your new fans can follow you. Number 3, here's the warning to everyone: no censorship. Our founders believed in no censorship. They built the cafe off of no censorship. And who am I to stop it? No censorship. Number 4, for those of you who are joining us on Zoom, after the poet reads, please unmute yourself. You will see a request saying that the host wants you to unmute yourself. Please be obnoxious and loud, because that's how we are at the open mics after someone performs. So let's do that. Make us feel a little bit, at home in the cafe. Number 5, stick to the theme, but you don't have to. Every week we have a theme. Every week people say, well, I didn't write to the theme. Is that okay? That is okay. But I hope that you are challenging yourself and writing to the theme. And what is the theme? Tonight's theme is history. You have poetic license. Poets can flip it however they want. Next week, the theme is Got My Eye on You. After that, break up. And February 22nd, my birthday is February 21st. So on the 22nd, the theme is going to be Advocate of Words, but it's not about me. It is about what you think about when you think of the term Advocate of Words. Flip it how you want. Again, poetic license. March 1st, favorite lady. I want you to share a poem about your favorite lady. On March 8th, back in the day. I want to hear some poems about back in the day. I think we did this theme, but I want to hear it again. March 15th, the Ides of March. It means settling debts. So our poems, the theme for that night is going to be settling debts. March 22nd is water. March 29th is fire. If you want to get the themes for the upcoming nights, like I said, go to our Facebook or YouTube page and you can rewatch the beginning of this episode, and you can pause it and you can see it right there. So with that being said, everyone who is here on the Zoom chat and is performing, please open up the Zoom chat. You will see I put who the first list of people are those who are guaranteed to come tonight and rock out. And then we have the waiting list. We don't always get to the waiting list. Everyone knows that I try really hard to get to the waiting list. So if you're on the waiting list, I hope you stick around, but please understand there is no guarantee that I'm going to be able to get to you. With that being said, first, coming up now is Elemental, the man who gives so much energy to so many people. Where is Elemental? I haven't even gotten to check out to see who is in. I see a Kim Hughes. I've never seen Kim Hughes here. Hi, Kim. Andrew Meisen. I've never seen an Andrew here. Hello, Andrew. The Withdrawn is back. We're going to get to him later. But right now, I'm looking for Elemental, and I don't see him. Am I bugging? Elemental? He usually doesn't go first. No, Elemental's not here. Okay, so gonna keep moving forward. Next coming up is Metronome. Metronome is usually never this early, and she's not here either. I guess she wasn't prepared to go that early. Let me see. Wait, they changed about. I don't see Metronome. Oh, yes, I do. There she is. Let me unmute. There we go. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Looks like you have a different background. I didn't
Well,
notice you.
I'm running in a panic because I misplaced my phone and my poem is on my phone. So you go to the next person and I come back?
All right, I'll come back
I'll
to you.
let you know when
I'll slide you down a few slots. Okay.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So that's Metronome, and I'm allowing Metronome to do that because she's from the Bay Area, and I don't care what you heard about the Bay Area. They gangster over there. You don't mess with people in the Bay Area. All right, so we're going to the Withdrawn, who we haven't seen or heard from in a very long time. Let me unmute this dude. Bro, where have you been? Have you gotten a life on Mondays or something? What's going on?
I'm happy to be back. No, I've been, fighting some demons, but the devil ain't shit. So, slowly creeping back into the scene, and I needed this, man. I needed this. Life's
Awesome.
getting better. Life's getting good. So,
well, I'm glad you're back, man. I'm happy to hear that you're back. I'm sorry you're going through whatever you're going through. For those who don't know, we call it Withdrawn the wild card because you never know what you're gonna get from him. It's been a while since he's been here, but he is a mainstay here on Mondays, very much part of the community. All right, the Withdrawn, the floor is yours, brother.
all right, thank you. Can you hear the instrumental in the background?
Yeah, you good.
This piece is called Pray For You. I pray for you and the beautiful family you've started, and that you give me for hurting you the way I did when we were kids. I pray that you explore the potential career paths I helped you realize, and that no guy ever comes at you again to make you feel bad about the color of your skin. I pray that you get back into art because your pottery spread wonderful messages that we all need to engrave in our hearts. I pray that you learned about testing the waters back in high school just as much as I did. I pray you find success in the list of things you showed me, and that they all aid towards your growth. I pray you get to travel across Latin America, and that probably the most amazing energy I've ever witnessed in a being always exudes. I pray that you come to the realization that you are enough for yourself, despite the hurt anybody else may have caused you. I pray young and dumb be the reason you cheated, and that no one ever does to you what you did to me. I pray that it doesn't take the point of full-on mental and physical exhaustion for you to realize you need to take it easy. I pray you continue to grow at the rate that you are, because you're killing all that you touch and we love. I pray you get up out the LES to provide a different life for you and your children. I pray that the first person who gets to be a man truly takes care of you in the ways you should be. I pray you continue to stand out when the crowd around you chooses to keep their minds out of service. I pray we cross paths again in the future so that I can send personal blessings your way. Because I would always seem to run into your brother, but haven't seen you since we were kids. I pray one day that you own the salon you so badly deserve. I pray that you continue to absolutely destroy the modeling game with all the natural curves. I pray that your smile changes people's moods just as much as you change lives. I pray over you always, even if in the end you never ended up as mine. I pray. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to the Withdrawn.
Nice to have you.
Come back.
Good start.
Brother.
Good stuff, my brother. Good
Always
stuff.
appreciate
So good.
The Withdrawn setting off the night, man. All we needed like is that like candlelight, man. I felt like this needed to be like in the 90s hip hop movie or something. I don't know. Sam Park is our resident DJ, so when she comes up to the open mic, she'll let me know if it's the right era. But The Withdrawn, where can the people follow you, brother?
Thank you. You can follow me at The Withdrawn on Instagram, thewithdrawn.com. That was also a song of Janae Aiko's album. And fun fact that every line was about somebody different.
Oh, I got a poem like that, but we talk later. That's what's up, man. Please put your info into the chat as well. Everyone, make sure after you perform that you guys check out the chat because people have some nice things to say. So like The Withdrawn's going to put his information. You follow him on social media at The Withdrawn or his website, thewithdrawn.com. And I'm seeing a few more new faces in here, like Maureen Medina. I've never seen Maureen. Hi, Maureen. Thank you for joining us. Jared is back. I've seen him a few times of late. Kiana Maria, I thought that was my ex. I have an ex-girlfriend named Kiana Maria, and she does poetry. I was like, oh, wow, she's going to be here. That's great, but it's not. Nonetheless, I am not disappointed, Kiana. I am excited to hear your poetry as well. So moving on. Oh, Emily Cordis is here. Emily is doing theater on Zoom. She has a show coming up soon. Make sure that you follow her. She's on Facebook. She used to work with the New York. I love her. Now coming up is my wingman post-pandemic when we're going to go out and we're going to get words a date because Valentine's is coming up. And the one to help me with that is DG Clearing. Good to see you.
Thank you, Abigail. So nice
the floor
to see
is
you.
yours.
You guys are getting a little bit of snow out there today, so have fun shoveling. That makes a little bit of history, actually, and that's what tonight's all about. This is relics. Relics. In the desert below the sands, buried deep in the lake. I'm sorry. Relics. In the deserts below the sands, buried deep in the lake beds of the past, locked in crusts of decay are relics of what has been, markings of another time, instruments of mortality lie beneath the coverings of the grains, impressions in the rock beds, hidden from today and tomorrow, waiting to be unearthed, to be brought to life, to live again from the memories of forgotten affairs. You will see them for what they are, moments of creation, moments of life, moments of destruction. Whoever discovers what is gone becomes the god of what is to be remembered, making interpretations of their own beliefs. In a time before religions, before fire, before the tools of our existence, who is it to say what influence the 5 great extinctions have on us today? When was the first tool made? Who made it? An ape, or a bird, or an ant, or a fish? Was this the beginning of our end? Who will say what is buried beneath the sands? Only what is written will be shared. Truce from the dunes, crystals of dust may never be known. What was may always be lost because of the writers of history. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for DG Clearing. Knocking it out and on theme, man. This dude is so reliable and he's so giving. He is the ultimate wingman. DG, where can the people find you online?
You know, on a snowy night like tonight, you can find me at DG Clearing. Anything that's DG Clearing. Everybody have fun shoveling. Go out and get vaccinated as soon as you get shoveled. Have a good night. I look forward to hearing everybody, all the great pandemic poets, and thanks for the audience for being here tonight. Bless
Thank
everyone.
you,
Appreciate it.
DG Clearing. Go get vaccinated after you get shoveled. That is going to be the theme for tonight. I love it. Abraham Kamani is next. Abraham is no longer on the move at this time on Mondays. He's home, so he is able to join us. Abraham, the Zoom chat is yours. Go ahead, brother.
Yes. This is Black History Month. It's also the month of my birthday, too, February 25th. Pisces over here, B36. And I got two pieces for y'all. One is in honor of Harriet Tubman. I don't know if you guys heard, it's been a discourse going around that her face is supposed to be on a $20 bill. If you guys haven't heard about that. So the title of this piece is called, and this is the first piece, From the Underground to the Mainstream Bank of America. A revolutionary warrior refused to die a victim of America's brutally racist and capitalist system that enslaved African bodies for her gratification in her so-called Judeo-Christian nation. Being a slave meant to be Black and poor, casualties of America's undeclared genocidal war against freedom, justice, and liberty for all folk. So Black Moses conducted the Underground Railroad with courage in one hand and a rifle in the other. She fired at slavery in defense of her sisters and brothers, running away to catch independence up north by following the path of the drinking gourd. She served in the Union Army as an armed scout, liberating the enslaved from the Confederate South. Knowing the loss of slaves meant the loss of money, and the loss of money meant the loss of power in a divided country, America still chose Harriet Tubman's strong, beautiful Black face to grace her $20 bill in Andrew Jackson's face. Soon, she will emerge from the underground to mainstream Bank of America, upright and proud. When the powers that be when the powers that be come to get their dream, they will see her come out their automated teller machine to confront them about sustaining inequities and inequalities, then demand a change in the unwritten policies that distributes wealth based on race, gender, and class. Lest this ceiling made of thick glass will be forcibly broken by poor people of all colors indeed. Even if the masses suffer cuts, bruises, and heavily bleed, the struggle will continue because the 99% will finish the fight against racism and poverty with a win. That was the first piece. And the second piece was inspired by an exhibition I saw at the California African American Museum about 4 years ago by artist Kenyatta Hinkle. And I'll explain that a little later. It's called From the Deep Grave of Silence. From the deep grave of silence, a nameless Black woman shouted, "Take a long, hard look at my body completely nude. Do not confuse the images of me dancing and posing without any clothes on for being a prostitute. Yeah, my body has been for sale on auction blocks across the states under America's jurisdiction. For centuries, I, along with countless Black girls and women, have been subjected to physical, sexual, and ideological crucifixion. But the perpetrators were not always wealthy men wearing the badge of white skin. As equally guilty were Black men, be they pimps, lovers, relatives, strangers, celebrities, or just friends. Can't you see all the spots and blemishes covering my flesh? Haven't you heard my screams and cries from being beaten to death? No? Well, I shouldn't at all be surprised. When it comes to Black women, the media is deaf, dumb, and blind. Damn it, look at me when I'm talking to you. Don't you dare close your eyes to avoid staring at the naked truth. You see, I am not, and I repeat, I am not the embodiment of disgust and shame. I am not exposing my body parts to any man for his selfish gratification or monetary gain. I am stripping myself of all clothing as a revolutionary act against censorship and invisibility. I do so with the knowledge of leaving myself vulnerable to a hostile mix of forces assaulting and assaulting me with insensitivity. Yet I stand here celebrating my body in its nude form, in the face of pain that could not be numbed with anesthesia. It is of extreme importance to show my flesh and scars to America to awaken her from a comatose state of amnesia. Today, I continue to fight in this unending intellectual war waged by the press to blot out my narrative. Homemade paintbrushes, ink, canvas, and paper are the weapons I use to send my messages. Having long understood that visuals speak more than words, I came to the conclusion that my images will not be quiet. Through art, I lift up my voice from the deep grave of silence. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to
Wow.
Abraham.
Abraham.
How you do, Abraham? Come through, homie.
Great.
Abraham going in. The people like him. Of course, Abraham, check the chat after this. Quickly let the people know where they can find you online.
Well, real quick, I just wanted to kind of give a background to that second piece. The artist herself was inspired by a series of murders that took place in LA by a guy named Lonnie Franklin between 1985 and 2009. And he was found guilty of killing 12 of the women, kidnapping, raping, and murder. But they believe he had killed over 100 based on pictures he had found in his house. So that was her inspiration for doing that exhibition. And that was my inspiration for writing the piece. You guys can find me on Instagram at Poetically Incorrect 562. And you can find me on Facebook at Poetically Incorrect. And I'll put it in the chat box. Thank you guys again.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Abraham Kamani. Make sure you give him a follow. Check the chat box so you can do so. Next coming up is the trendsetter, Vale Larkin. Let me unmute Vale. I'm sorry, Vale. I haven't read what I'm supposed to read, but I am going to read it this week, I promise. Okay, go ahead. Rock out.
I promise I don't have you on a timer. Can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear. You're good.
Okay. So I'm going to read two shorter ones. The first one is about Alan Turing. He is the father of modern computing. He basically won World War II for us on an intelligence level. And he was homosexual, and he was convicted and punished for homosexuality, which in Britain at the time involved chemical castration. And he committed suicide shortly thereafter. So it's called Apple Falling for Alan. The shape of it is nearly a sphere, but he never cast eyes skyward with the fire he delved within. It was all a matter of numbers, 0, 1, and then 2. But 2 was too many right from the start. He learned it. The pain of the world's cages, the pain of love illicit, torture by limited men inflicted on the expansive. He calculated the key to unlock their regard, and they pushed him into a box, stole his spark, and spit him out, sickened and alone. The answers were never decoded. He still doesn't know what love means, or honor, or genius, if they mean nothing when the door crashes in. The door crashes in. He is gone. The apple lies in his hand, but the floor is rattled by the slam, and it rolls away. And the second poem is based on the story of Cain and Abel. And just a quick reminder, because I discovered that a lot of people misremember this. In the story, Abel, the good guy, is the herder and the nomad and the hunter. Cain is the agrarian. He's the crop farmer. So Abel is the carnivore. Cain is the vegetarian. This is called Cain, the Farmer's Song. Stone in my hand, I have come for my brother. He of the beasts and the chase, he of the hunt and the hide, forever favored. They will say I green-gazed, killed him for it, but we will know, you and I. I've seen the future in a seed of grain. I have borrowed and I have harrowed and harvested, built and settled. I've gained a home. They will say, as they always do, that I have grown soft and sedate, forgotten my feet. Now I watch them. My sires flows with the seasons. My mother, with her gentleness, was never meant for the vagaries of the wild. They will say I have broken their hearts, and this will be true, but they will live to say it. Stone in hand, I have come for their traitorous son, who chooses the horizon over those who gave him birth. They will say I have carried evil like a seed into the future. This is the justice of men. My brother of the slaughter will shine like innocence down the years, while I who sought peace bear the mark of war.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
Wow,
Vale
Vale.
Larkin.
Trendsetter strikes again.
Vale,
Vale, get him.
dope.
Yeah.
Stupendous.
Vale Larkin going in as always because they're a trendsetter and they love being called a trendsetter because they know they're a trendsetter. Vale, where can the people follow you online?
Anywhere where they don't call me a trendsetter.
Oh, so they can't follow you anywhere. Okay.
Facebook, I am vale.larkin.writes, and Instagram, I am Vale Larkin, all one word.
And it is in the chat. Thank you, Vale Larkin. Also, y'all should look up Alan Turing. Awesome individual. Awesome individual. Sad life, but awesome individual. Okay, real quick, because I know that we have some latecomers. Wouldn't let me share my screen. There it is. So we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to join us, in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the number 279-995-364. This is the Monday night online open mic. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Like I said, we stream this live on Facebook and YouTube. I am your host. You can find me on all the social medias at Advocate of Words. When you spell Advocate of Words, that's with a Z at the end, because, you know, poetic license. Now, last night when the open mic list opened up, it closed within about a minute. 35 people signed up within a minute. If you want to sign up, the list opens up 24 hours before the show. So the sign-ups begin on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you visit nuyorican.org and click full events calendar. When you do so, you would have clicked on the Monday that you were signing up for. So if you signed up last night, you would have clicked February 1st, and you order an artist RSVP ticket. That will place you on the open mic list. You will get a confirmation email letting you know where you are on the list. The first 25 to sign up are guaranteed a slot, and then the next 10 are put on the waiting list. Sometimes we get to some people on the waiting list, sometimes we don't. I try to get there to the waiting list all the time. Also, shout out to the people on Facebook. Every now and then I check in on them. Sarah Firestein, I hope I'm saying your last name right. She's been giving a lot of love. Lynette Serrano, I saw Lynette giving love last week. She's on Facebook right now giving love. There's also Jerry, oh man, I'm gonna say your last name wrong. Beauvalet. Jerry Beauvalet, if I'm saying your last name wrong, I'm really sorry, but thank you for the love on Facebook, Jerry. And Sebastian, who we met last week, he's giving love. Oh, he picked up on Alan Turing too. There you go. So make sure that after this, you go and you check out the Facebook page, especially if you have been on the open mic, because there are people who are saying nice things about you over there as well. So we are circling back to Metronome, who's out in the Bay Area. There we go. Now we see the background we are accustomed to. We got a poem ready. Go ahead, Metronome. Floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. My first love poem ever. So shocking. Is the music okay, the volume? Cool, thank you. You got me laughing, walking down the street, thinking of shit that you've said. Thank you for all the joy you give. Releasing me, offering me a closet to take off my armor. You got me off my guard, giving thanks and praises. Lord, I got this love swirling inside, high on cloud 9, reaching new heights, hearing the champion sound from the angels above. So this is what love is. Thank you for the strength you pass over to my soul. I have never felt so good from my head to my toes. A permanent grin stuck on my mug, protected, wrapped in your hug. You got me looking at synonyms for the word love. I have a deep affection for your smile, in love with your jokes, belly laughing until it hurts. So good, I'm so enamored by your beautiful soul. You got what I want, can't get enough. Your sweet safety is my redemption song. You have in my back, I no longer have to look around. I can take off my boxing gloves when I'm graced with your presence. Every moment with you I hold sacred. I will never take you for granted. I count my blessings on a daily, and my soul sister for introducing me to you. So glad I showed up to that birthday party. Oh my God, that's him. Oh shit, he's the one. I've never had so much fun, and I still get excited 6 years later when I get to see you every Friday night. The most amazing date that starts at 7:45. Rocking with me, baby, me lover, me friend, lasting until Monday morning. I'm so happy you release me of all my anger, healing me with your magic touch. It will never be too much. Can't get enough, perpetually in the honeymoon stage, like it is the first time I get to see your face.
Unmute yourselves, give some love to Metronome.
Go, metronome. Now,
Man,
toughness in there. What's that?
yeah, got that jazz hip hop vibe.
Aw, and here I go saying, Metronome's from the Bay Area. She gangster, look out. And then here she comes and does something all nice and soft and whatever. It's my first love poem. So not gangster, but I loved it. Metronome, where can the people follow you online?
I'm still here in Thursday nights. And when I don't have class, my class got canceled. That's why I got to come here tonight, because usually Monday nights. So anyway, Thursday, here. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Metronome using Catherine Sweeney's excuse that she has class. Hey, look, I didn't bring up the joke, Catherine, all right? Metronome mentioned it. I'm just going off what she said, okay? It's not on me. Unmesh Mohitkar is next. Our friend who gets up very early in the morning, because right now it's like 8:30 a.m. in India. Unmesh, good to see you. Go ahead, brother. The floor is yours.
Hey, Advocate. How are you? Good. So I did not write anything related to theme, but I suddenly remembered that in my book, there is a poem about history. Okay. This is called Light Shadow Life. It is available on Amazon. So the poem is called Love Conquers All. If love conquers all evils, why love stories are not even a footnote in the history of the world? If love conquers all evils, why love stories are not even a footnote in the history of the world? History talks only about brutal conquerors. History talks only about brutal conquerors. Stories of love and peace are lost forever. History talks only about brutal conquerors. Stories of love and peace are lost forever. This was the short poem about history. Now I read that news that rich countries are hoarding doses of COVID vaccine. So I wrote two perspectives: poor man's perspective and rich man's perspective. So let's start with the naive poor man's perspective. I lost everyone, got support from no one. Breakfast was rare. Lunch was lunch a necessity. Dinner a luxury. But I see the vaccine now. A new dawn, new sun. Finally, due to the virus, everyone has understood the value of humanity. Going forward, people won't be selfish and will start believing in sharing and caring. Only positive this virus has taught us. Let us live as humans. Let's forget what happened earlier. Let's live and let live. Now the next one is rich man's perspective. I am rich. Will do what I want. Your wants are my needs, and your needs to me are your failures. You have always treated me as special. My car, my palace, my Rolex played a role, I know. I jumped every queue, you remained quiet. I made rules and was always right. It's time to get vaccinated. I need it. World needs me. I am your employer. I am your jobs. Thousands can die, but one who support and feeds them should live. I cannot wear a mask. It's my style statement. I am the maskless hope. Let me get the vaccine first because I cannot die. I give jobs. I give charity. I run marathons. I deserve this. I will be your hope. Just give me the vaccine. Of course. You know, I have got contacts. Even if you don't give it to me, I will get it through my contacts. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
yo,
To
he
this
said
guy
it.
forever.
Good.
Yeah,
Yes, there too.
yeah.
Morning poetry, morning poetry.
Has that early morning energy bringing it to us from across the world, literally halfway across the world, because he's 12 hours behind us or ahead of us. Unmesh, where can the people find you online, brother?
Thanks. It's Mohitkar Unmesh on Twitter and Unmesh Mohitkar on Instagram and Facebook. I think you guys are fabulous. I love to be here, and it's kind of it's kind of a inspiration or motivation to get through the week. Thank you.
Unmesh. Love having you. Unmesh Mohitkar. Shout out to Nancy Ware, who I saw checking us out, and she's not even on the open mic list, coming to give us love. Same thing with Miro. I see you. Thank you so much. Right now, we're going back to the open mic list with Daniel Olson. I think Daniel is becoming addicted to us. This is like a third or fourth time.
Yeah.
Daniel, go ahead, man. Get it in.
Thank you. So I know the theme was history, but Valentine's Day is in 2 weeks, and I'm a hopeless romantic. So 365 days a year, it's Valentine's Day. So I wrote 2 love poems for tonight, and I'm going to share them. First one, I wrote the day I met the love of my life. So it's called Her Elements, Her Eyes, or Her Elements, My Eyes. Close your eyes. See the air breathing from her heart. See the fate of forever choosing to sing. I am the infant, lost by clouded skies of her sexiness. No thought, no sight of mine as to where her lips will take me. But the lipstick bears such a poise of passion. And now my legs are weak. It was on a Monday. Stars align on the days when smooth skin is not seen. And then her picture returns. Hello is just a phrase of endearment, until Aphrodite sends you the voice that traps your mind to her will. Close your eyes. See the water falling from her skin. She cried. Oh, she cried that there was no such thing as power. The kings rule the body that she claims, and the gods rule the mind that she makes. And yet I am enslaved, drawn from the woods to the fire of her opinions, the destruction that lies between her legs, entailed by the anger that her Hera throws upon my sight. Close your eyes. See fire burning in her touch. She will break me, for there is no power. There is no power of the mortal man that opposes her. I took to the ocean to find the tide she left unfeathered. So dangerous is the sea when man seeks to escape what cannot be lost, only liven to those who obey. And so, with such a compass of confusion guiding a weaker man, I was left dying in the salt of an ocean's womb. Close your eyes. See the wind drawing back her hair, her breast, her stare. Cut the losses. Turn back towards the civilization that she created. Draw up what strength the sheep may carry, and let my legs go weak again. Not a stain of death, just the fate of lost causes. The fate of love tattooed to my pulse. And that's the first one. And then the second one, also written for the same girl, it's called Katie's Poem. I see the visceral beauty that she gives with each stare, eyes worn down by love, pupils driven for a want to care. Earphones hide her ears from distress, providing musical tales. A world that lost her smile, a world where everything fails. Her hair is pulled back and her lips are forever pursed. She feels the weight of responsibility, a childhood truly cursed. Her hair was once let down, her lips once presented a smile. Time toward her passion. Her world was a testing trial. Pink was the color of her soul's ocean. Pink was the color she adored. She carried the bag of life's choices on the basis of her own accord. Glasses gave her face a shape of reason, a meaning behind her gaze. She stared into the camera not to intimidate, nor to amaze. There is an awe in the hazel green, a finding in the color of her love. Her heart knew she was a gem, a heart beating like a dove. Let them see what they want. No instinct to hide the dots upon her face. Makeup is for the made up. She wanted them to see the truest case. Not all is lost, for she will take the bus to where life is still pure, in search of the love she needs, in search of love's blessed cure. No picture could describe the journey. Only time tells the story. Her mind will keep the love within, a sanctuary of passion and glory. Thank you all so much. Y'all are wonderful. I appreciate it.
Unmute yourselves. Get some love.
Nice, Daniel, nice. Come through, man.
I've heard in a long time, bro.
Wow.
Good job.
Daniel Olson, the people like him. He likes the people. Daniel, where can the good people follow you online?
Yeah, I'm you can find me on Tumblr, A Poetic Cookie on Tumblr. So you can find me, just post in there. So go to Tumblr. Yeah. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Y'all are wonderful.
Thank you, Daniel, a poetic cookie. Why is it, and I know I say this all the time, but why do love songs and love poems always sound like either you're a stalker or you're a simp? Next time you listen to love poems or a love song, I want you to think about that. Like they encourage you to either be a stalker or a simp. Let me give up everything for you. You can run over me, I'll still love you. Or I'm always gonna watch you. I'm always going to be there, even in your dreams. I can't live without you. Those are the kind of things that stalkers say. But in love poems, they're great. They get you laid. Moving forward, Elemental is next. I don't know where he was at the beginning of the show. Maybe he was having himself some romance, but he's here now. Elemental, floor is yours, brother.
Hey, straight up. Hey, first of all, let me apologize to everyone, all right, for being late. I sincerely apologize. First of all, I was just surprised to get number one, all right? Shout out to DG, who's always in the number one spot. But, you know, I do truly appreciate you, Advocate, for putting me in. Thank you for everyone. First of all, I want to say happy Black History Month, all right? It's the time to get it, so let's get it, all right? This is for the greatest right here. Bear with me. Shit's still wet, man. Let's go. His story began in the winter of a year full of turbulence and turmoil. Set against the backdrop of segregation in Jim Crow's America, Junior was born to an artist of a father and a Baptist of a mother painting their way out of Confederate Kentucky. By 12, the young Clay found his sculpture after his bike was stolen, and Fred Stoner helped him develop a system of sickness that became an amateur behemoth, slaughtering challengers in a series of lefts and rights to 100 wins and 5 losses. Turned gold gloves to an Olympic gold medal in 1960. Turned pro, and wouldn't you know, started 19-0 with 15 KOs. Lord knows nobody wanted a piece of his hands. Then he danced, took his cue from Bundini Brown and Gorgeous George, and threw poems like punches at pre-fight interviews. Met a gangster in the ring for the title, but took him out of his game before he ever got in it. Said, he smells like a bear too, and after I beat him, I'ma donate him to a zoo. Jumped in the ring and proved he was the truth. Said, I shook up the world. I am the greatest. I'm the prettiest thing that ever lived. He saw his light and found his direction in Islam. Changed his name while changing the game and evolved into something larger than life. Sat with Howard Cosell, said, Muhammad, you seem to have some things to say, do tell. Ain't no Viet Cong ever called me boy. I mean slave, I mean American. Why should I fight them when I'm too busy fighting you in my own backyard? You're not used to a black man speaking to you this way. This ain't bragging, because I do what I say. I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, and can't possibly be beat. Even if you dream of beating me, you better wake up and apologize. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. I'm the astronaut of boxing. You're just watching. Your title may be shiny, but mine is sparkling. met a king who took the fight of the century to the Philippines for part 2 that became a thriller in Manila. A superstar killer, a rope-a-dope Willa and Dilla, more hitman than Hearns and sweeter than Leonard or Robinson. Captured the world and the eyes of a beast with giant punches and an iron will trained on stopping the champ in his tracks. This would be epic, monumental, more than just a fight in Kinshasa, Zaire. This was legendary. The air was filled with the chants of a nation singing him to victory. This would be a rumble in the jungle. Said, last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. Well, I wrestled with an alligator, tussled with a whale, handcuffed lightning and threw thunder under the jail. Fight after fight, night after night, dodging punches, racists and critics that said he's not American. He doesn't deserve to be our champion. He was stripped of his title, branded everything black, but people couldn't help but tune in. He was everyone's champion. Even in the fight of his life against a faceless opponent that beat up his body and KO'd his speech, he still fought. Just as he did so many years in the ring, he refused to go down. Fighting a fight he held on long enough to carry and pass the Olympic flame, the passion of his sport, and the elegance of an icon. As I say my goodbye, I'm reminded of my favorite quote. Don't count the days. Make the days count. Rest in peace for always being the world's champion. Assalamu alaikum to the spirit of Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., better known as Muhammad Ali. Peace.
Unmute yourself. Give it up,
That was it.
Can't go wrong with Muhammad Ali. He was a poet. That dude was a poet, Elemental. Where can the people find you online in case you late again?
Straight up. You know, poets got to show poets love, man. You know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate all of you. You can find me at IG Elemental the Poet, YouTube Elemental the Poet, Twitter at Elemental. I just appreciate all of you for making room, Advocate. I appreciate you. Again, happy Black History Month. Let's get it. Peace.
Elemental, make sure you give that dude a follow real quick on Facebook. Shout out to Eddie Foreman, who is getting in there. Y'all need to check out Facebook after the show so y'all can see the nice things people are saying about you. And Jay Pimentel, I see you posting as well, brother. Thank y'all so much for giving us love. Also, Sarah, NMS De La Paz. I hope I'm saying that right. Sarah, if I'm saying your name wrong, I am so sorry. Thank you for checking us out. Next up is Nick Paleologos. No, great Scott. It is going to be a pleasant gift. That's right. Nick Paleologos is giving up his slot on the guaranteed open mic list for someone on the waiting list who has never gone before. And the only person that I see on the list, also, I said, great Scott, he's doing this like pleasant thing because we named it after Scott Pleasant, who a couple of moons back decided, you know what's really hard? Get on the waiting list. I want to give up my slot for someone who hasn't rocked before. So right now, who I see on the list is a Paz Paulson Sax. I think that's Paz Griot. Is Paz here? Let me see. Yup. Paz. Oh wait, I haven't seen Paz in months. Paz is from Istanbul.
Yeah. The time difference is an issue. Yeah.
I know. It's like 4 a.m. for you. So I'm gonna mute myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get into it. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so on the topic of history, this is the best one I could find, and it's inspired by, I'm sure some of you have seen the documentary 13th, Ava DuVernay, about the prison industrial complex. And it's relevant to Black History Month as well. So this is Concrete Echoes. The blood we bled built these walls, churches, unheard calls, our broken backs falling through the cracks, and nooses burn through our nightmares. Gunshots haunted our cells, till our bones are exposed, wondering where the ghosts go when there are no ears to hear them, no minds to understand them. Toxic screams from the underworld, concrete echoes from the smoke unfurled. A plantation buried in a dark room, a graveyard hiding behind shadows that loom. They told us to take the plea. They told us to say we're guilty. They told us there was no slavery. And now we're locked behind a blood-stained screen inside an economy of trading freedom for table scraps. They're building penthouses on our broken backs, worms in our soup, concrete echoes on a loop. The tunnels of memory, the cop's gun hit the streets, put the chains on our feet, affix the noose on our dreams. How many dash cams will display our pain? How many walls will obstruct our reach? How many verdicts will vex our core till sagacity takes over? The back of the bus is now the back of the cell. The bruise on the brain becomes the ghost in the hallway. The guards yelling reprimands from the edges of privilege, vituperations and castigations, marring our imaginations. A penny to our name when the convictions hit the space. Our eyes fall from grace. We pray for a future to exonerate our wingspan, consecrate the plantation lands, apotheosis, grass, acquittal from the echoing sound that ricochets cell to cell. Do lotuses still grow in hell? Do the memories of joy return from the well? Does anyone have a story to tell that ends in emancipation from the concrete echoes inside our vertigo?
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I missed everyone too. Thank you so much. And
Thank
thank you to
Paz, the Corvos right there, my man. That was dope.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name, but
I think I got a bit of a delay with Paz, but that's because he's in Istanbul. Oh, wait, where'd he go? I just lost him on my screen. I want to unmute him one more time so that he can let us know where we can find him online. Paz, where'd you go, man? We just saw you. Did he get booted offline? Oh, no. Did he get booted? Oh, all right. When Paz gets back, we'll make sure to find out where we can find him online. Luckily, though, we were able to hear the rest of his poem. I just think, like I said, that there was a delay. So, oh, wait. I see him here, but I don't see his video. I'm trying to unmute him. Paz, we can't
know what's going on. My video's on. Sorry,
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. I can hear you all fine. That was weird. But
It's okay.
anyway,
we were able to hear
my
you.
website in the chat. Yeah.
All right, cool.
There.
Oh yeah, Paz Griot, PazGriot.com, Paz Griot. Paz, we were able to hear you. There's some trouble with the video, but we were able to hear you, man. Thank you so much for staying up so late. We miss you out in Istanbul. And real quick, let me unmute Nick Paleologos so you guys can find out where you can find the gentleman who just made this pleasant move and gave his spot to someone else. Nick, where can people find you online, brother?
You can find me at The Real Nick P on IG. That's TheRealNickP. Thank you, everyone. Paz, that was freaking dope, man. I have to say, that was really dope, dude.
There you go, Nick. Make sure you put your information to the chat. Nick Paleologos is a mainstay here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. He has been here with us since, I think it was Paul Conqueso who told him about it and got his friend addicted. And now, Nick Paleologos is in debt because he's supposed to work every Monday night, but he's hanging out with us. Great, man. Next coming up is Sam Park. We ever heard Sam signed up last week? But then this like really cute guy asked her out and she's like, screw Monday night, I'm going out party. So go ahead, Sam, the floor is yours.
Poetry waits for no man, first of all. Second of all, I'm really happy to be here, guys. I miss all of you. Hi, Advocate. You have a great beard going. Get it. All right. So, this poem that I'm going to read you tonight is going to be Sweet Pea, a letter to my parents. I will always be your sweet pea. All of the lessons and stories that you've passed down to me will forever be etched into my memory, but there are some beliefs that I will not take with me. As stubborn as I am, I will always be your sweet pea. I carry your love in my pocket, protectively hiding it in secrecy. The instances of lightness as I sat on your shoulders is a part of me, so when I take it out of hiding, I treat it with the utmost delicacy. No matter what happens, I will always be your sweet pea. I remember my childhood intricately laced in tragedy. There was hurt masked in discipline and harsh practicality, but this hurt I will not keep as I become the change I want to see. What will not change, however, is that I will always be your sweet pea. I learn from your success just like I learn from your fallacy. Without observing your missteps, I would not be able to see the beauty in hardship and how it reroots one's reality. In spite of your mistakes, I will always be your sweet pea. I must break tradition in order to prolong our legacy. Although I'm grateful for the life that came out of past dynasties, I will not allow fear of change to prolong the toxic parts of history. Even in the future, I will always be your sweet pea. There is no intention of disrespect or lack of loyalty, but I am now raising myself into the success we all want to see. I'll always be a little like you, but now I must be unabashedly me. Whoever I become, I will always be your sweet pea. History builds foundation, but experience waters maturity. I would not be myself without some of your intricacies, but I have my own feelings, actions, and personal philosophies. Although I'm different from you, I will always be your sweet pea. I've taken the education that has seeped through the negativity and applied it to my experience to let it grow abundantly into what I will teach my offspring when the time comes for them to be. Before, then, and after, I was and always will be your sweet pea. The generations are changing, as is the purpose of our mortality. I'm glad for your existence, your blood, love, and other discoveries, but I will live my life with pride, not in apology. One thing I'll never be sorry for is how I've come to be. Your past lives lives in my intuition, and I have your smile and honesty. Although you have some beliefs in which I simply disagree, I will never lose my sense of self. I will celebrate the life you've given me. After all this time of growth, I hope you can remember it proudly. It's a tough task to break the trauma of generations and how it used to be. You walked so I can run. Now it's time to rest and let me carry you to safety. With love and gratitude, your one and only sweet pea. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Come through, Sam. Come through. That's fucking fire, Sam. Fire.
Issue there with your parents.
Sam Park, a Monday night mainstay, although, late she's been busy, whatever. She says poetry comes, no man comes before poetry, whatever. You've been out partying and we've missed you. Sam, where can the people find you online?
To say Advocate is like sensitive right now. No, but y'all can find me on Instagram at Zaddy_beats. It's okay, Advocate. I've missed you too. I also make Spotify playlists, so I'll post the link and everything below. But thank you. It's so good to be back. I love you guys.
Sam Park, yeah, I'm sensitive, man, because I'm the guy to hang out with on Mondays. And I come with a lot of friends. And on Facebook too. Shout out to Luis Santiago, who just joined us on Facebook. Love that dude. And Idia Younger, I say it right? Yeah. Idia Younger's here. I said it right. Ronald Cohen, I've never seen him before. Thank you for checking us out. Appreciate you too. Next coming up is Propaganda Poet. Propaganda poet, this dude, he is hooked on us. He got it in his
Happy
veins.
Monday, everybody. Thank you for having me once again. I appreciate it. History. When I was in high school, I got in trouble for destroying school property because I edited the history book to reflect what actually happened. Because even when I was a teenager, I was already tired of like everyone pretending that they just didn't become the wealthiest nation in the world because of slavery, genocide, forced indentured servitude. Manifest Destiny was the original white privilege, and I'm tired of like pretending that it's not. And I have heard more history in poetry than I ever did in any history class. But what do I know, man? Because I ain't nothing. Like the truth ain't nothing. Like the truth ain't nothing but the truth. I ain't nothing but a spoken word artist. Now, some have accused me of being a teacher, and others have even gone so far as to say friend, but I'm just a punk half-breed drunk trying to hold up my own end when they keep telling me to hold my fire. But I can see the whites of their lies printed right there in our textbooks, framed by the red and the blue of the powers that be, the same ones that turn the letter X into a commodity and the indigenous nations into a mystery. So now from sea to shining sea, our kids, so now from sea to shining sea, we have a bunch of kids who can't even cross their T's or dot their third I's, so they don't even recognize that their spirit is being bled into a bottle that will soon be spun for no one. And whenever I question why I'm stuck in standardized tests, I'm told to mind my own P's and Q's and just keep on marching to their tune, like I'm supposed to be strapped on army boots instead of marching with 1 million men and women down that historic route so we can find the story's roots before they just traded in their red coats for blue. And now the conqueror's faces are carved in Mount Fuckmore, overlooking the spiritual significance of the incomplete Crazy Horse Monument, pointing towards unfinished business about ancient tribal societies when it was all about family and metaphor was reality. And we all understood that trickster, Coyote, well, he might have busted some double talk, but it wasn't until the Great White Father showed up that everyone started speaking with forked tongue. Now, if we could just catch them young, then maybe they'd learn how to use their chromosomes like algebra and biology, where X plus X equals life and breath. Y and Y only make two things, Jack and shit. But Jack is still so obsessed with his own candlestick that he don't even recognize that there ain't no trick to getting Jill up that hill, because no matter how nimble he is with his skills, he's just too damn quick to play the rabbit when the trouble hits. But I guess that's how it goes when you're forced to grow on recycled poetry and pre-roll prose like Yo MTV selling out the movement to Starbucks, spinning our straw into their gold. And since wisdom is imprisoned in old folks' homes, children are left sleepwalking through Sega Dreamcast instead of casting their dreams into every grain of sand. So while their thumbs go numb, entire oceans spill right through their hands. But there has got to be a way to save the day, even if the Aztecs and the Mayans say that Atlantis kind of way that we only got a few years left. We have still got to end all this stuff and relearn our ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, because once we have the propensity to see that there are far more than just 3 wise men and women who deserve to be heard, then history will be alive and well and living in spoken word. Thank you all for everything. Thank you for my
Damn, propaganda.
Propaganda
Come
poet.
through, homie. Come through with that shit. Fuck that shit, man.
Propaganda poet, real quick. Let the people know where they can find you online, brother.
You can find me on YouTube at Changeling Studios. That's Changeling Studio. I'll put the link in there in a minute. Thank you all so much. Monday nights are amazing. My favorite night of the week.
Thank you, propaganda poet. Yes, we are turning Monday into the favorite child. Monday went from the forgotten stepchild everyone hated. Now they're in the favorite child, right? Like over the fireplace on the mantle. They are in the middle of the family picture right now. And that is because of y'all. I appreciate y'all for making Mondays like that. Marissa Prada is next. What I think the cat ears. Let me unmute Melissa.
What is up, Nuyo? Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to be here tonight. So happy Monday. I'm sorry you're all under snow, but that's all right. Tonight, so I kind of did the prompt, but I did the prompt a little backwards. This is the very last poem that I wrote in a chapbook that I wrote after my friend passed away. So I'm going to give you a trigger warning for suicide. And And so this is kind of my perception on the history of the 1 year after her death. It's titled 365. 365. This is the day. 365 sunrises ago, I was driving to work at this exact time, 8:28 a.m. behind the city coroner van. I remembered it turned up your street, but didn't really think much of it then. Work was good, lunch was good, getting the kids from school was good. Didn't think much about how you hadn't called me back yet, or texted me back yet, or laughed at that online post yet. Dinner came and went when my phone finally rang. Yep, that was the call we all fear, a call I knew before I knew you were gone. Crystal is dead, was all you said. Your voice rattled around my skull, breaking loose pieces of my brain as I strained to breathe. Buckled at the knees, I lost my body in disbelief. She took her own life, you eventually said. No, this cannot be right. She said that would never happen. Nausea navigated like a champion through my core as illness coursed through the living particles of my breath. I called your phone. Your voicemail chimed and I knew before I knew you were gone. No way had you used that gun. I'd asked you about that months ago. You said absolutely no, I could never do that. Maybe that drunken slice to your arm so many years ago now finally decided to dictate deeper meant death, challenge God, but no one saw this coming. That pink-plated small caliber calling you home, cold in your hand. Full glass of vodka still on the nightstand as you loaded that one fingernail size. Fuck you, I just want the pain to stop. Bullet that bounded your freedom, my beautiful friend. And even as I stood in your room and the exact same place your body fell, smell of death defied by the sage crackling in my hand, I felt comfort among your things. And why wasn't I here? Why didn't she call? Why didn't I take the gun? Why didn't I do more? Why couldn't she have just stayed? Just one more day. I pleaded to God. What good was I if I couldn't even save her? I thought back then. When regret eroded smiles, denial swindled healing, and those relentless questions called to order a courtroom of judgmental self-loathing. Now, I see the sun will not cease its rise as the current of time will ever press on. You have done what you have done to forge an imperfect path towards forgiveness, to leave us all realizing the temporary nature of our time here, to remember the pain with the pleasure so that we may remember we are still here. We are still alive. We are still going to fight. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Some love to Marissa Prada.
Oh, that's your loss.
Hey, damn, way to bring it, Marissa. Way to bring that.
Marissa Prada is a mainstay here in the Monday night online open mic, and every time she shares a poem, she brings it. Whether she is cutting open her chest to give us her heart, or whether she is in a poem and she is cutting up her shirt to give us her sexy look. Whatever it is with her poetry, she always brings it. Marissa, I appreciate you always, and I appreciate you being so vulnerable with your poetry. Where can the good people find you online?
So Marissa Prada on Facebook, Prada Painting and Poetry on IG. I also co-author The Word Is Right, WRITE on Facebook. In fact, we have an incredible lineup of events this month. We have an incredible Black History Month coming up on the 12th of February at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So many of our New Yo favorites are on there, including Mr. Speaker and Elemental and Ray Jane. I mean, there's so many incredible poets going to be on this feature, a night of just bananas good poetry. So please come by The Word Is Right, or come by my page and get involved in this group, because we have some things coming up. We have a Cash Slam Saturday too. You want some money? Come to the Cash Slam Saturday. So thank you so much, Advocate and New Yo family.
Thank you, Marissa. Make sure you put all that information into the chat so that people can copy and paste it. That is Marissa Prada. All right, so we are running a little bit behind. We got to catch up. So make sure that you keep, if you do introductions, make sure that you keep them short. And we just get into the poems. Next coming up is Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker not only brings the heat with his poetry, he brought us Marissa Prada, so we love him. Double time for that. There he goes. Let me unmute him. Oh, he is in the mood with the heart's backgrounds. Protect your kids, protect your wives. Mr. Speaker's about to share his poetry. Go ahead, brother.
Let's grow, Little Africa. Let me take you back in time and provide you with some knowledge. See, baby, I'm gonna tell you about a place you're just not gonna hear about while attending that fancy college. The time was 1870 to 1921 for your historical notation, and the north side of Tulsa, Oklahoma is the actual recorded location. See, North Tulsa was called Little Africa, as this name marked praise, the most affluent Black community in America. The witnesses were amazed. Jim Crow laws created all Black communities. See, we cannot deny this. And right down racial lines was how the United States was divided. See, Tulsa, Oklahoma was separated by the Arkansas River, but not equal by any tale. See, the white side was not nearly as prosperous, while the Black community completely excelled. Little Africa contained Black doctors, politicians, or Burns and PhDs, all Black businesses, farms, schools, and many Black attorneys, Black-owned restaurants, grocery stores, libraries, movie theaters, and places to sleep. So many prosperous businesses that Greenwood Avenue was called Black Wall Street. Yes, Black Wall Street, because see, that's just how much money flowed. I'm not making this up, it's research. And it's the truth history holds. Nepotism kept the money circulating within the community, even for loans. Everyone purchased from their neighbor, which kept the money coming right back home. Brotherly love and altruism were practiced, while crimes were very low. Morals were taught to all, and children, well, they actually did what they were told. Neighbors volunteered to help other neighbors in times of trouble. City families had about 5 children, while farming families had about double. White coal miners came to North Tulsa to work 72-hour-long shifts as well. So they too helped the pockets of these Black businesses to swell. In the 1800s, Little Africa had its own transportation system to assist them all. Blacks kept to themselves, took care of each other, so no citizen would fall. From Greenwood Avenue, A, Archer, and Pine Streets, P, life was prosperous and grand. And if you take the first letters of those streets, G-A-P, you will see that's where they got the name for the Gap Band. Shouts out to Uncle Charlie. By 1921, there were over 100 Black millionaires, 6 even on airplanes. Black Wall Street was thriving and looking for more financial gain. But see, on the South Side, whites lived below the poverty line. And white servicemen returning from World War I, well, they also fell on hard times. So what happened to Little Africa, one might say? Well, the Ku Klux Klan decided they were going to take that prosperity away. So on the 1st of June, 1921, envy, greed, and jealousy took control, and a Black Holocaust in America was about to unfold. This race riot was one of the most violent ever carried out on American people. It was the largest massacre of non-military Americans in history with no recorded equal. Within hours, hundreds of Black-owned businesses destroyed on the north side of town. 3,000 men, women, and children dead. Hundreds could not be found. Hundreds of homes and farms lit up the skies as they were burned to the ground, while good white Christian families just watched and stood around, witnesses to the KKK killing anyone whose skin color was brown. Little Africa was unlawfully lynched as this massacre went for 72 hours and from yard to yard until the white sheriff sent his black deputy called the state's National Guard. The National Guard came to prevent the loss of more innocent lives as death is what they saw. And the first order of business was to establish and enforce martial law. They stopped the killings, aerial bombings, disarmed and sent the Klan home by doing their job. But they failed to prevent the loss of hundreds of businesses, stores, movie theaters, banks, pawn shops, grocery stores, jewelry stores, and even a hospital laid in the wake of this hateful and angry mob. Restitutions never happened. Insurance claims dishonored and black voices silenced. Mass graves around the city hid this act of complete and senseless violence. Impact today, African Americans have little nepotism, and we've lost a lot of our financial power. We settle and support each other, and our money leaves the community within about a couple of hours. So consider this your history lesson for today. And do not underestimate your economic might, because baby, if you don't honor and protect what you have, it could be gone overnight. In peace.
Oh, mute yourself.
So
Give it up for
true.
Mr.
So true.
Bars,
Bars.
You got bars, Mr. Speaker.
God damn it. That's how you do.
That is how you do, Elemental. That is how you do. I introduced him and he said, I don't need no introduction. I'm going to get into my poetry and I'm going to hurt you and I'm going to teach you. And that's exactly what he did. Y'all need to look that up, man. That's so much to that story, so much to it. And that poem covered a lot, but there's still even so much more. Mr. Speaker, where can the people find you online?
Hey, come back here next Monday. We're doing it again.
Oh man, a man after my own heart, Mr. Speaker, every Monday here at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, we do this. And on Thursdays, every 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, we do it on Thursdays. Tonight, on Mondays, we only do poetry. On Thursday, we do comedy, music, singing, all of that. And that is hosted by La Bruja. Make sure you check it out. Next, coming up, Elizabeth Strauss. Where is the beanie homie? Where is she? Oh, here she is. Rocking the beanie. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Someone needs to make a logo for you, Elizabeth, with your glasses and the beanie. I love it. All right, go ahead. Floor is yours.
I'm down for that. You got your beanie on tonight too, though. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Tonight, my poem is entitled "The Glass Embedded in Our History." We say let's not let history repeat itself, and yet we let it repeat on a loop. We take one step forward and not two nor three, 1 billion steps back. Too many still clinging to the Neanderthalian rules. When I think about history, I do not always gravitate towards the most obvious that is a part of mine. Judaism. My brain always traveling to the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Unsurprising as my soul's obsession with the ancient civilizations. My favorite, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The beauty of the gardens showed off proudly, their colors warming the hearts of their citizens, the world basking in their richness, derived from the Greek word kremesmas, English translation hanging onto history, hanging onto fear, hanging onto the past. Memes of a senator circulating instead of banners of a liberal woman of color shattering glass ceilings, not as humorous as it seems for those willing to acknowledge it. The glass embedded in our history, not cutting, empowering the wounds that have been slit too many times before. She continues to plant the seeds for more gardens to blossom, for dreams to come true. Happy tears nourishing the new gardens, her wisdom flourishing it always, her story. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Elizabeth.
Nice, Elizabeth. Way to come through. Nice.
Elizabeth, that's how you do it.
Very good.
Love Elizabeth. Oh, my video's off. There we go. Love Elizabeth Strauss. She has that like deadpan speak, but like her poetry has so much life. Elizabeth, where can the people find you online?
Thank you. Instagram, ES_Strauss and Broadway Broker _NY. I'll put in the chat. Thank you so much. Love my Monday night poetry community.
Thank you, Elizabeth Strauss. If you need some apartments in New York City, go hit up Elizabeth Strauss and she'll give you a poem too. All right, next coming up, Tessa Somoke. He got the fresh cut. He got the fresh cut. Mr. Tessa Somoke, the floor is yours, brother.
All right, thanks, man. I have 2 short pieces. The second one will be on topic, and then the first one is titled Macario, inspired by Juan Rulfo's Macario. Macario, Macario, still sitting by the gutter, waiting for the frogs to leave. drawing circles on the ground, menacing monsters with your reed stick? Do you still turn away when they see who you are, signing crosses on their faces as they pass by you? Godmother still claims you were a child born from sin, abandoned to her for your disposition. Children still throw rocks when they pass and ask, "Are you an idiot?" Macario, Macario, is your godmother still awake, woken by the frogs you've been sent to scare? Are you still drawing circles on loose sand with your reed stick, waiting to poke frogs? Don't make godmother angry. Eat the leftovers given to you. Felipa will give you something later. Do you still dream of Felipa's sweet milk when you snuggled up against her in the night to keep warm? Do they still come looking for you at night, screaming your name, calling you an idiot for touching Maria? Macario, Macario, listen, listen to your godmother. She will take care of you. Don't step outside in the daylight, eat the leftovers, and don't look anyone in the eyes. This one, and then this one's on topic. Porfirio Diaz was the totalitarian we had before 1910, the Mexican Revolution. So Porfirio Diaz revisited. The Mexican psyche sits in the candlelit foyer. The smell of burnt pine tar centers the olfactory nerve. The noble savage emerges in a whirling dance spell. Body convulses as the sacred serpent across the night sky. Out of the four corners emerges the wooden drum sound and the hypnotic courtship between dancer and song. Oblong figures, drive human beings divulge the ground. Mexican, American, mestizo, and indigenous stand in the middle, the chingon, the chingado, and the slaughtered. The danza and the drum, the stick on the deer spine, foot on loose dirt, to the sound of awi yakosawi so chimosocha. The dancers transform from Gachupine to a priest, a Jesuit, a rape mother, a Juarez trader, a general, a positivista, a científico, a coyote, a foreman in the fields, a labor contractor, and a lambiscon. Our words do not resonate. Those of Martin Luna before going to bed, on mat and pillow, our dead will not lie. You see, no matter how much altar making we have, we are the ones who are dead. Marked like the jaguar's skin, you open your mouth towards us, you spiritually thirsty. We suffer poverty in this world as a migrant androgynous cultural transvestites like you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Mr.
Always bringing it.
Thank you.
Mr. Tesasomok always going in, man. And he got a great set of hair, man. If I had his hair, I wouldn't be wearing the beanie. And I look good with the beanie until Elizabeth Strauss came and made me look back. She looks so good.
I was thinking that you and Elizabeth are talking about that each one has a beanie. That would make you guys beaners.
There you go. That's what's up. Mr. Tesasomok, where can the people find you online?
I put it on the chat, but at Gashes 2019, and thank you all for the great feedback, and I hope you appreciate the work. Thank you.
Mr. Tesasomok, and he also comes from a very talented family, as the background was drawn by his niece. I wish I could draw like that. I want Mr. Tesasomok's hair, and I want the gift that his niece has, because like to draw like that, that's my favorite type of drawing. I don't know what that style is called, but I love it. All right, next coming up is Assam Zane. Let me unmute him. Everyone get your drink and sit back, and we're gonna ride the Assam wave. Go ahead, Assam.
Right. Okay, thanks everybody. So this is very new. I just finished this, and I'm crowdsourcing the title. So if anyone has recommendations right now, it's North Oxford Avenue, which is the street I grew up in LA. And a content warning, there may be some disturbing images later down in the poem. North Oxford Avenue. Not much was off limits. Sleepovers were not allowed, and no going past the gate. My homeboy Guillermo got hit by a car. He ran after a ball without looking, and all he could do in that airborne moment was notice how sunny it was. He hobbled, half bolted, begged me not to tell his father. Willie Sr. appeared like a banging heat, asked what happened. He forced the driver into the passenger seat and headed to the ER. I learned that Guillermo fractured his pelvis and that the winter is a narrative about the body. We called our neighbor Senora whenever we addressed her. Immelklab in private, mother of dogs. She cared for 2 sweet Cocker Spaniels. She once showed up with a butcher's knife. I could smell her blood rising from her arms. We speak of struggle in the third person possessive. My mother always starts teachable moments with Habibi. Habibi, she said, you can't go to the bathroom here alone. They found a kid my age dead in that bathroom once, she said. He didn't have any pants on and someone shit in his mouth. We were allowed to sit on the stoop with our friends at night and scan the sky for UFOs. It must have been for our folks some kind of daily meditation, how much damage an unattended world could do us and we to one another, that a game of hide and seek could possibly run a little long and change us. The more accurate translation is, was found in his mouth, passive voice. I worry about my daughter's nosebleeds. I imagine my house on fire several times a month. I run drills in my head. It happens at night. The blaze starts mercifully somewhere downstairs. It is the first snow of winter. The smoke is impersonal. We wake the girls, break the bathroom window. I jump first. She throws the children out one at a time. I catch who I can. Thanks.
Unmute yourselves. Give some energy to Assam.
Powerful. Damn. Like that's how real poetry sounds, man.
Very
Dope.
nice.
Assam Zane, the people love him. Assam, where can the people follow you online?
I have a website that you could check out now with all the social on it, ISSAMZINEH, assamzane.com.
Please put it in the chat as well. Appreciate you as always, brother. Thank you.
Thanks.
Assam Zane, he is a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and he kind of centers it, right? Kind of grounds it, like a cleanse of sorts, man. He just forces you to zoom in. Me, when I perform my poetry, I'm more like animate. Hey, look at me, look at me. But some people, they have this ability to just have everyone zoom in on them. Assam has that. Love it. Assam Zane, make sure you give him a follow. Next up is Testimony, who I think was on the waiting list last week, but she didn't show up and we called her name, but she is here now. We haven't heard from her in a while. Hi, Testimony. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am going to stick with the theme of history. I am going to do a poem called The Doll Test. And if you guys are familiar with Brown versus Board of Education, where schools were segregated, that is pretty much what my poem is about. And this is based on a true story. I'll never forget, I was 15 years old when I saw the doll test. What is the doll test? It was a study conducted in 1947. Beautiful Black children, ages from 3 to 11, sitting at a table with 2 dolls in front of them. One doll was Black, one doll was white, and the children had fear under them because they were asked to choose which one is the bad doll and which one is good, which one is proper, which one is hood, which one should you play with. And every single child chose the white doll as the cute, nice, and pretty one, fun, cool, and giddy one, rich, smart, and witty one. And every single child chose the black doll as the one that's distasteful, the one that's disgraceful, the one that was hateful. And then they were asked, which doll looks like you? And every single child chose the black doll, and that's when I knew their self-esteem lowered. I saw teary eyes as they realized there was an invisible mirror between the doll on the table and the child sitting in the chair. I'll never forget, I was 15 years old when I saw the doll test, and I vowed that my child would be different than the rest. Fast forward to present day, I have a baby girl, and I named her Lauren Gray. I came home with 2 dolls. One was black, one was white. I placed them on the table and said, you better choose right. Which one is the bad doll? Which one is good? Which one is proper? Which one is hood? Which one should you play with? And she looked at both dolls and said, I like both of them. Right, sweetie. Which one is smart and which one is pretty? Which one is stupid? Which one is witty? You gotta pick one, baby girl. Do you get me? And she looked at both dolls and said, I like both of them. Right. So I let her see the video, and I saw her face getting mad. As each child chose one doll, I saw her face getting sad. And then in the end, she picked up the black doll and said, Mommy, this one matches my skin. Yes, baby girl, it do. That one is beautiful, just like you. Now choose. Which one is the bad doll? Which one is good? Which one is proper? Which one is hood? Which one should you play with? And she said, Mommy, they both are nice. Only difference is one doll is black and one's white. They both are special. They both are themselves. I don't know why you're forcing me to choose something else. I would play with this one. I would play with that one. They didn't do anything to me for me to pick a bad one. The sad ones are the kids in the video that don't know their self-worth from birth, and forcing me to choose one will have insecurities to unearth. Okay, she didn't say that. But I'll never forget, I was 15 years old when I saw the doll test, and 15 years later, I was blessed with Lauren Gray, who on a gray scale loves both black and white. I raised a pretty okay. Now, parents, it's your turn to conduct the doll test and teach your child to love themselves and others and to be different than the rest. Thank you.
Mute yourself.
Ridiculously good.
Hey,
Nice.
I love it.
Nice.
Now
I love
on,
that too.
that's how you do.
Yeah.
How you do.
Valuable history.
From now on, that's
Testimony. Now we know why she calls herself Testimony. What a testimony. Testimony, where can we find you online?
So any social media platform, just type in Testimony and you'll see me. So that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just type in Testimony and you'll see me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I have to ask you, did you have a good day today? Because you're just like popping on screen right now. Like you are glowing like you're happy.
I had a great day. It's a snow day. I had a snow day today. I have a snow day tomorrow. You guys know I'm a teacher, so I am relaxing. I am in my element right now.
That's what's up. I can tell you just like popping on screen. It's like awesome. Love it. Thank you. Testimony. Make sure you look her up, give her a follow. And if you get onto the waiting list next time, Testimony, stick around. We may get to you. Okay. Don't go anywhere. Love having you on. Alana Caslin. Alana, I think her first time with us was last week. Right?
Yes.
Yep. And Alana is back. Go ahead, Alana. The floor is yours.
Hey, hello, New Eurekan family. It's good hearing and seeing everyone. This has been a beautiful evening as it was last time. I'm going to do a poem that I wrote for Amadou Diallo, and I'm doing this poem tonight because in 3 days will be the anniversary of his murder. He was killed in the vestibule of his apartment building by police officers. And I felt extremely connected to him because we had the same month and day of our birthday, September 4th. And I was like, wow, when I celebrated my birthday, I think about him, because he cannot celebrate on this plane anymore. And it just really touched my heart. So I'm just going to get right into it. Brother Diallo, they took your life right in front of your eyes. Shot you down and shot you down and shot you down like an animal. That first bullet that pierced your soul and you were paralyzed right in front of your eyes. 41 bullets shot, 19 didn't miss. And with that first bullet, you were paralyzed right in front of your eyes, right in front of their eyes, right in front of God. But Brother Diallo, they must pay. They must pay for what they've done to you. They must pay for stealing your life away. And they will pay. Right in front of your eyes. Right in front of their own eyes. Right in front of God. Right in front of God. May the Creator be pleased with you, Brother Diallo.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Give it up for
Oh
Alana.
my
That's
God,
just
the ending
raw.
was
To
so
the Amadou poem,
chill
though.
at the
Let's
end.
go.
Alana Caslin, every poem has its own voice, and I always encourage poets to find it. Don't mimic someone else. Find the voice of the poem. And I feel like Alana hit it on the money and found the voice of that poem, not just the words, but like the tone and voice. I'm trying to unmute you, Alana, so that you can tell the people where they can find you online.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you, everyone. You can find me online on Instagram. I recently created Instagram at The Power of Words Spoken. That's what my Instagram handle is. I'll also put my YouTube in the chat in a place where you could get that poem if you're interested in downloading it or you'd like to hear it again.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Alana.
you.
Don't Be a Stranger, Alana Caslin. She really found the voice to the poem. I felt like it was sincere, nothing was forced, nothing was held back. It was like that sweet spot. That's what I always encourage poets to do. Before you get on the open mic, whether it is in front of people or it's online, go over your poem, say it out loud, find its voice. Great job, Alana. I loved it. All right, Lawrence Chance is next. Before we get to Lawrence, who has been coming along, but we haven't heard from him in a while. I saw Diane Ward is here. Shout out to Diane. She is not on the open mic list, but she came to hang out with us. I appreciate you, Diane. Roz representing the BX. I love Roz through her big brown eyes. Make sure you check her out. Luciana. How did I not mention Luciana earlier? She's in Brazil. All of y'all better be on your best behavior because English is a second language and she's learning from you. So be on your best behavior. You're representing me. So, okay, Lawrence Chan, who we haven't heard from in a while, but like I said, I've seen that he's been checking this out. What's up, Lawrence? How are you? The floor is yours, brother.
Doing good, and also New York Mets.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Am I going to have to ban you? New York Mets? Are you kidding me? You're not.
The
No.
Midnight and Overdose is not here, so I'm representing the Mets right now.
Oh, no, don't start this trend. Look, I respect Met fans because the New York Mets push you to your loyalty. I don't know how you guys are loyal to that team after all these years, so I respect the hell out of Met fans. But we're here for poetry. I hope your poems are about the Mets. But here we go. Lawrence Chan, go ahead, brother.
My poetry is on theme right now. This is old shit. This is from 2003. I was going to read this poem at the Norwegian Poetry Cafe, but never got the chance to, so going to do it now. Oh, there's a line here that might confuse some people. It's a quote by George W. Bush. The most important job is not to be governor or first lady in my case. And that line inspired me to write this poem. When will the government be for the people? I don't know. I doubt even God can perform this miracle when everybody in Congress is just a criminal. There's no such thing as like a politician who's honest and clean when they're paid off by the people with the most green. These are the worst people we could select, the Democrats and Republicans, the most fucked up duets, more concerned about getting their dick erect. But are you really surprised all congressmen are this sleazy? But why does it have to be all over the newspapers and TV? Who gives a fuck who killed Sandra Levy or how Cigar fucked Monica Lewinsky? Why are we more concerned about Clinton getting his dick sucked while every day thousands of people run out of luck, where people are losing their jobs or being thrown out or shot on the streets? But Bush just ignored all of us and go start a war in the Middle East. Why do people look at George Bush like he's some sort of hero when he's dumber than your regular street hoe? He couldn't even vote. How can we vote for this prick when he doesn't even know if he has a pussy or a dick? It's time to get rid of all these clowns with all this bullshit around. It's time to shut them all down. Now here's the second verse. If you thought the first was bad, well, shit in this country just gets worse, especially for all the blacks. Since Keenan X passed, the government has turned its back. Let me ask all the blacks, why do you keep voting for the Democrats when the last 30 years they haven't done crap? The cops still fuck everybody going around doing their dirty deeds, doing anything, anywhere, any place. They're always found innocent in another court case. And they want to blame the blacks for this crime and destruction. What about the court system and all of this corruption? But now that our country's intelligence has failed, it's the Muslims they want to deport or lock in jail. All the Muslims are being rounded up by the CIA. When the fuck are they going to do this to the KKK? But I doubt it will ever be done, because some of these congressmen who are deadbeats are probably the same ones who wear the white hoods and sheets. And they're working with these crooks who are wearing CEO disguises, laying off thousands of people while hiding out in the building high rises. Anderson, Enron, WorldCom, and the list goes on and on. But all that news is now gone that these countries cheating, stealing, deceiving, the same shit the government does, only is hidden treason. Just like in the 1980s, we gave Saddam weapons of mass destruction because our government and its mass corruption. The US knew Saddam was killing a million Arabs, but it was never bad until Saddam tried to kill Bush's dad. In the end, we helped create Saddam, give $3 billion to these few terrorists and bin Laden, pretending they were Afghans, old Batman and Robin. But after the Afghan helped us end the Cold War, we just turned their back on their dying and poor. As long as they killed the Russians, we didn't give a damn or not, if they live or rot, because there's no oil on their spot. So how can we be surprised from what the US did in the past, that one day this is not going to come back and bite us in the ass? Now, some of you might look at me, but now some of you might not think it's a time that I should be locked up for speaking for what's on my mind. But I know after all the crimes are done, I should be locked in jail. But you never see me in a cell, because in this racist country, they lock no Chinese males. Now to all of you, these ideas might make you pissed, but it's not my fault because I didn't do any of this. The causes of bullshit out of the government's mouth, they're always hoping we never figure them out. The truth is out there, we just have to look. Or are you too scared that our own country's got us shook? But the real question is, can we learn from the mistakes of this country's past? Because if we don't, I guarantee you, this country won't last.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Lawrence Chan.
That's the word.
That was truth.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Lawrence Chan, always going in on the politics. That's where he is, man. That's what gets his pen going. Lawrence, where can the people find you online, brother?
Have no social media.
Up. When you speak up about the government like that, you can't be found online. Smart move off the grid. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, advocate.
Lawrence Chan, we're going to forgive him for being a New York Mets fan. Oh, shout out to Nicole, too, a.k.a. Rose Gold Poet. I know we have 2 Rose Gold Poets, but shout out to Nicole and her dog, of course. And yeah, man, you know, personally, I don't want to get into politics myself. I wasn't a fan of Trump, but when they talk about the worst presidents, I always think like, but what about Dick Cheney? I know officially it was George Bush, but I mean, Dick Cheney, man, that dude was like deadly, and deadly on purpose, right? It wasn't like, you know, like his ego's like, oh, I need to look good. Dick Cheney was like, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do evil. Even though I got laid by my wife last night, it was great, I'm still gonna do evil. That's when you know you're evil, man. You know, let me not go into it. Thomas Connor's next. Thomas, let's hear your poetry, man, because I'm about to go off for 3 hours, and we're not here for that. Go ahead, brother. Good to see you.
So, thank you, man. So this one is an old one, but I kind of revised it a little bit. I don't know if you heard it. I think it's relevant to the topic tonight. Young urban male. Young black and urban male. Baggy jeans, black hoodie, last seen walking down a block where he shouldn't be. Be alarmed, he might be armed. Eyewitness reports say he's about 5'9" to 6'6", dark, maybe light brown skin with a cold stare and a sinister grin. Medium to large build, considered dangerous. If you come across, don't confront unless you're Zimmerman or the Minutemen. Not deputized, unauthorized, yet licensed to kill. To them, it's just one less to stop and frisk. You will be thanked for your patriotic duty, signed Trump and Pence. It's shit like this that got me searching for Huey P. with Sun Tzu battle plans, holding Malcolm's AK, giving Dr. King and Che Guevara speeches. Hasta la victoria siempre. Alza la mano, mi gente. This is a time for revolution. We have to force social evolution. Say it loud. Fuck the psyche of the Triple K institution. Tired of laying down. Pass me the Bible and the 4 pound. Give me liberty or give me death. Fighting this nation's transgressions against the young urban male to my last breath. Rise up against my people's slaughter. Throw a wrench in the machine that powers the new world order. Beat the fucking war drum slow. We can't let the death of the innocent go. Start the revolution. Start the revolution. Start the revolution, young urban males. That was that one. I got one more for you. I got one for you. I got another one for you. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of irony. Of thee I sing. Land where the Cherokee was stripped of life and liberty. Land where the Mohawk took his last stand. This land that bears the burden of the genocide of the black man. We stand with heads dropped. We stand with hands over heavy heart. Land bearing the truth that these founding fathers tore families apart just to make a profit. Their manifest destiny foretold by prophets, really? Falsified like creating old money for their future generations, forced to sip their libation they will never see, yet their future generations will profit off of transatlantic slavery. Distorted is that investment. Peace.
Thomas Carter, give it up for him, man.
Come through.
Killing it.
Oh yeah, come through, man.
Beautiful.
Thomas Carter got the people going, and Thomas has been checking us out for a while. He's been having trouble getting on the list, and it seems like the last 3 weeks or so he's been able to get on the list. It's such a blessing. Thomas, where can the people find you online, brother?
You can find me at TAC7371 at Instagram, and Thomas Connor, my full name, on Facebook. I'm mostly on Facebook, so y'all want to check me out, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook all the time.
Thank you, brother. Please put all that information into the chat so that people can copy and paste. Thomas Connor, man, this dude always goes in. I'm glad he's here. Next, coming up for most likely the comedic relief, it is Jeff Cottrell. Jeff is known to be a one-man play on Zoom. Love having him on. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. So this is sort of on theme. It's about movie history. It's kind of a found poem with a bunch of lines from classic movies in which they say the names of the movies. And it's called 22 Lines from Classic Movies in which they say the names of the movies. 1. That's strange. Nobody's supposed to sleep well in Casablanca. 2. Next Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future. 3. Well, I guess some like it hot. I personally prefer classical music. 4. In moonlight, black boys look blue. 5. That's a great white shark, a 20-footer, 3 tons of them, and full of jaws. 6. Luke, I've had it. I'm taking my reward and leaving. You're not getting me mixed up in one of these Star Wars. 7. You know, they say there are 3 kinds of people in this crazy mixed up world. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Which one are you, punk? Which one are you? 8. I'm gonna lay 400 blows on this kid if he don't settle down. 9. Vincent, we got a hit to do, motherfucker. Stop sitting on that toilet and reading that Pulp Fiction. 10. Well, it's been an interesting year in the Broadway community. Why don't you just sit back, relax, And let me tell you all about Eve. 11. He crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. And that, my friends, is what they call the Shawshank Redemption. 12. You don't get it, Willard. I ain't talking about no apocalypse yesterday, and I ain't talking about no apocalypse next week. I'm talking about an apocalypse now. 13. I shall take over all the oil fields in California, and if I should happen to cut my finger in the process, there will be blood. 14. I'll catch this wanted man for a fistful of dollars. 15. I'll catch this wanted man for a fistful of dollars, but I'll kill him for a few dollars more. 16. I swear, these motel rates are so high they're completely psycho. 17. It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman, the movie! 18. Ho mangiato 3 ippopotami transessuali con la dolce vita, ma la stupida fattoria di salsicci ha schiaffeggiato la mia bella scialda. 19. Would you like some fries with that, Citizen Kane? 20. Get busy living or get busy dying. And that, my friends, is what they call the life of Brian. 21. Sir, I just saw Jefferson Smith heading to the train station. Where does Mr. Smith go? Sorry, I didn't catch that. I asked, where does Mr. Smith go? Still can't hear you, kid. Where does Mr. Smith go? Gotta speak louder, kid. I said, where does Mr. Smith go? Why, Mr. Smith goes to Los Angeles to meet the Big Lebowski. And finally, number 22. Forget it, Jake. It's Withnail and I. So that was my found poem. Oh, by the way, some of those were made up.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Jeff Cottrell.
There you go, Jeff.
We love you.
Jeff Cottrell, he needs his own late night show. That's what he needs to, and he doesn't even need guests. He'll just do it all himself. Jeff, where can the people follow you online?
I can be followed at jeffcottrell.com, my website. I'm easy to find on Facebook and Twitter. And I was recently featured on the Australian poetry podcast Wordsmith. So you can look that up and listen to me talking to Kelly Van Nelson.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff Cottrell, he really does need his own late night show. He can do it all on his own. And for those of you familiar with his work, you know he can do commercials. Dude does his own commercials. I bet you he could do his own documentary too. All right, Jeff Cottrell. Next up is Ma Dukes. Ma Dukes had to leave, was on the list last week, but had to leave, I think for work. But wait, where is Ma Dukes? I saw Ma Dukes before. Where, Marissa, is Ma Dukes here? I saw Ma Dukes. No? Maybe she had to run again. Okay. She had to last week. Damn, I thought she was here earlier. So shout out to Ma Dukes. I don't know where she's at, but I hope all is well. Oh, Poetical is here with us. Shout out to Poetical checking us out all the way from Japan. Shout out to Poetic Desire, who has been coming of lately. Appreciate having you here. Shout out to Little Shroom. I don't know who Little Shroom is, but I like the name. And of course, the man Generalissimo. Generalissimo is checking us out. Paul Conqueso is next. Let me unmute him.
What's good, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I see the beard's growing back because you trimmed it. How you been? You good?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Just, in the midst of these snowstorm blues, I guess. It's like we don't really get snow days in college because everything's virtual and shit. So I wish I had a snow day tomorrow.
My timeline is filled with teachers complaining. They're like, we're supposed to have this day off. Damn you, Zoom. I love it. All right, go ahead, man.
All right. So I'm calling an audible. I had a piece I wrote today, but then I was like, oh shit, history. So history, and I shifted course. I'm gonna read one piece that's real short that I wrote when I was in high school, and this was like I started to become woke again. So this is young budding poet Paul, I guess, on his political shit. This is called What's the Reason? We're talking World War III, headed into the draft, into Iraq. No part of me wants to die for that. Die for gold, Die for that. Die for gold, which spurts from earth dipped in liquid black, because they've been lying to us for their profit, sending false prophets from way back. Watergate, Agent Orange, Desert Storm, guerrilla warfare. Can anyone tell me in any case one good reason for war there, when Bush knocked down the towers coated in ash, soot powder, grind flour, white power? No one man should have all that. How are we allowing this? Monopoly on government, impeachment, patriot acts, and willful treason. I won't fight for these fucks long as I'm breathing. No clue where the American dream went. Give us something to believe in. Can anyone tell me? What's the reason? All right. And then since it is history, and we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of a day that we still haven't seen justice served for, I wanted to read this piece that I've never read at the Nuyo. So it's new to the Nuyo. But it's a little bit older for me, and this is for Brianna. When you kill a woman in her sleep, there's a special kind of fate that awaits you, a discipline worse than eternity spent suffering slow to know you were responsible for 8 bullets ricocheting like sentinels sent from death's doorstep. No knock warrant, door battered, then rammed open, plainclothed men swarm in, informant said drug suspected, in residence connected to a suspect already in custody. No need for a raid. Nevertheless, at 1 a.m., frightened boyfriend fled for his peace to protect them both, assuming intruders, fired one off into the leg of a crooked gated blue shell crab, cracking claws on the curvature of an automatic clip. 2 steps, shell casings rip through floorboards, ceilings, couches, walls, bedroom door, box spring body of one Brianna trying to rest after a long week's EMT amidst global crisis, saving lives in her sleep, hers taken by the whites of their eyes, eyeing bust for drugs that were never there. Police report listed none under her injuries, not to mention no mention of the litany of lead and alloy, copper, zinc, riddled with full metal alchemy. In the depths of fifth dream, her mother waiting 2 hours in the ER, full knowing Brianna was not there. Her body bluing, back at home, them doing what blue lives do, putting on cover up, much like morticians doctoring scene. Envisioning what those last seconds were like for her, adrift in a dream deferred in the second level of inception, attending award show for health workers dressed to the nines in hunter green. She glowed and seemed as if a star on the screen, dress complementing her vivacious eyes, gated smile projecting dreams of a picket white fence. Kids, her partner, rushing to embrace her, perhaps in a park, lights going off on Juneteenth or Father's Day or her birthday. Independence Day, all of them huddled, loud burst and pops of red and blue. This dream turns dark, forearms twist to block the oncoming shots, not knowing it wasn't bulbs firing or fireworks or her child's smile flickering to fill the warmth, but the kick from the stream of bullets from KK cops turning all the lights off. I wish you got to see, Brianna, how the world responded, how we vowed not only justice against those behind the trigger, but the abolition of all cops. And we will not stop until the day we see you dreaming, swinging, reaching for accolades, for your dreams. We don't want you to rest in peace, because all they want from us is quiet, not to push, not to resist, not to make clamor loud as those bursts which strip life from you. You know, the opposite of war is not peace, it's creation. So I say, let's create something new, better and beautiful, a system which serves life over vengeance and doesn't rip sleeping souls from their cocoon, a system which pulls bullets from flesh, powder from casing, ram battered back from door, and the badge unclipped, putting your murderers behind bars, no longer giving them power to kill, so we can live out the dreams you set forth when yours were cut short.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Paul Conqueso.
God damn it.
All right,
Thank you
Paul.
so much.
Damn it, Paul, that was freaking amazing, my man.
Okay, so let me unmute him quickly. Paul, let the people know where they can find you online, sir.
At Paul Conqueso on IG. I'm for some reason in Instagram jail right now, so you might not be able to follow me there, but earmark it for later. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for letting me bring her life back to the stage tonight.
Paul Conqueso, make sure you look him up. He's He's a bad boy. Instagram's like, nope, gotta go in Instagram jail. That's when you gangster, man. Not as gangster as Metronome is in the Bay Area, but that's still pretty gangster. All right. Shout out once again to Jerry checking in, still looking up. Catherine Sweeney. I didn't give her a proper shout out. I had referred to the joke. So proper shout out to Catherine Sweeney. Emily Cordes is still checking this out. There was someone here I missed that I wanted to mention. That I didn't. Ron Mark Thompson. How did I forget you, Ron? My apologies, Ron Mark Thompson. This dude has brought some awesome poets with us. He is involved in a bunch of things. And my video was off again. I don't know what's going on here. Jeez. Okay. Shout out to Jane Spoken Word, who's here as well. I know she's on the waiting list. I don't know if we're going to get to her, but got to make sure to shout her out. Now we are going to Kiana Maria, who is most welcomed here. Even though when we had started off, I thought it was one of my exes because that's her name, Kiana Maria, and she's an awesome poet. And I was like, yeah, we're going to hear Kiana. But we're now going to hear this Kiana Maria. Where are you from, Kiana?
I am actually from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. You right across the river. That's what's up. Then where you been? This is our 43rd week. You should have been here. Don't tell me you have a life on Mondays. Nobody does.
I've always wanted to do New York Poets Cafe, and especially with COVID, it was kind of hard, and especially considering my age as well. But I did some research and I saw that you guys were doing online stuff. So I was like, I got to do this. Like, I've been wanting to do this for the majority of my life. So I am super excited to be here. And you guys absolutely killed it.
Well, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Kiana Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So my first piece is called I Am From, and it's just about me being a Latina, a poet, and just being who I am. So here it is. I am from a place you have never heard of. I come from a world unknown to your commoner ears. I am a descendant of Puerto Rican blood and flesh. Flesh that teared at the works of a poor government, hands that carried kids to America, hearts that broke in the face of gentrification. I am from Colombian soil. Its rich coffee beans sprout from the ground. I am not from war and violence. They may be a part of the air, but I am not the air. I am the soil it compresses into. I am nothing but loved. My parents brought joy and family to kids who had no one but each other. My rice grains and edible seasoning fall into your palm. My eyes come from the honey that drips from your lips. Honeycombs are more rigid than I could ever be. My determination comes from the moon. It rises when the sun throws it down. Therefore, I continue to get up after they push me down. I come from the coquis and the trees that you wish would shut the hell up. My caramelized skin comes from the sunset on days you wish lasted longer than 24 hours, on days you wish you could see the sun for one more second. I come from the salsa beat you hear on Saturday nights when you hope you brought comfortable shoes because the night is still young. My lashes spring like the bed springs in the mattress my grandparents and his siblings shared in the Caribbean heat. My heart comes from the love I have for some people. I could write a book about everything I've been through, but my heart knows that my time can be better spent. My thick hair comes from stories upon stories of Spanish women who wanted more rights, more respect, more understanding. And my thick hair is done telling stories of oppression because equality has been waiting for us for far too long. And who knows how much longer it will tremble at its knees, waiting for our arrival. I come from the manzanilla in your period relieving tea. I come from taking the long way. My blood knows no shortcuts, only long roads that lead to more obstacles. I am from a place you can never stay. My island has no water for your thirsty heart. Therefore, if you choose to stay, it will be at your own risk. I come from hardworking veins. I come from true love, a tale unlike Cinderella, but a tale that comes from two kids in love that never look back. I am from humble beginnings and triumphant endings. I am not from a fairy tale. I will not make your dreams come true. I will not kiss a frog and hope for a prince. I will have trials and tribulations, and I will not be your average princess, but I will be by your side, which is something not many average people can do. I am the salt in the Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea. I am not sugar. I will not be a sweetener to your Americanized coffee, but rather a kick in your bland environment. I am from public speakers. You will never see me silent. If something bothers me, you will be the first to know. I am not your perfect dream. I'm the confusing nightmare that keeps you up at night, the one that makes you think more than you ever thought you could. I will make you think, and I trust you with everything I've got. But always remember that I come from something you will never know, a world you will never see, and a universe you have yet to hear of. Thank you. So that was the first one. And my second one, it's a little bit shorter. Thank you. It's a little short love poem. So here it is. It's called A Summer's Dream. I whisper your name hoping you'd return as if you had the ears to listen to me anymore. I've wished you back for every dandelion that has ever crossed my cheek the same way you'd brush mine. I have skipped countless stones hoping you'd become a boomerang and spring back into my arms, but I guess that's my new reality. Switch lives with you and now I know how it hurt. To walk away from a half-stitched wound, completely giving up on it, tossed it back into the sea as if we were yesterday's catch, and I may have caught you off guard by reaching out after it all. After the breaking and the shattering of glass, but the memories play and repeat the way a hula hoop orbits around the hip, because you always made me feel like a kid in a summer's dream. Brought chocolate ice cream because you knew the chocolate relieved period cramps, brought sun and light to the hurricane seasons, brought a bucket full of sand to a barren land that I like to call my heart, made sparklers out of my eyes. You were my summer, and I never wanted it to end. Yet I was the same one who cut the grand opening ribbon for another love story, and for a long time I doubted my choices, reevaluated the times where you seemed to trickle from summer to winter, and I'm walking into a new year falling for you all over again. And I know you claim you want to dive into the pool of the past, but I also know how afraid you are of it being cold again, because so am I. And if you ever hear this or read this, know that you'll always be my summer, even if someone else is yours. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
What a
Kiana
debut!
Marie.
You come through every time from now on. That's how you come through.
Kiana Maria, the people love you. Real quick, let them know where they can follow you online.
Okay, so I only have an Instagram account, and it's at Kiana the Poet, KIANA THEPOET. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Kiana. Kiana Maria, I'm not trying to jump on anyone's coattails, but she reminds me of a young advocate of words. See, she spoke with her hands a lot. She had that energy, but it didn't seem forced, right? It was like a little hug, but it was also like a little eloquent. You know what I mean? It was like, you could take it to the opera, but you could safely walk through the hooks. That hands, she got the hands right there. So shout out to Kiana Maria, and shout out to my ex, Kiana Maria Martinez. I still stay in contact with some of my exes. I hate none of them, but she's married with a baby and she is loving being a mother. So shout out to her. There we go. This is recorded forever, Kiana. So now shouted you out. So, and shout out to Kiana Maria, our new poet, who did awesome. Okay, so also, I can't believe I didn't shout out Rebecca Burns. Rebecca Burns has been checking this out. Rebecca Burns is on the waiting list. And of course, Paul Skiff, who's the OG. He has more claim to this open mic than I do. Shout out to him. So if you were to look in the chat, I am posting now those who are on the waiting list. We are getting to the waiting list. The Urban Cowboy Poet is next. Where is he? I saw him here. Here we go. He's tipping his hat. I got a beanie, so I can't tip my hat. Go ahead, floor is yours.
You can't tip a beanie. Am I on? Am I audio on?
Yep, you're good. Go ahead.
I don't have your theme. I do my own thing. I'm here to provide the comic relief. So most of my urban legends, I take all the details from the legends, like the elephant poop, I had a lot of details, and I embellish them. But this one was originally the choking Doberman, but I changed the breed of dog. I can do that because I have a poetic license. So I call it the widow's best friend. The widow Johnson lived alone in a house there was no man in. She got herself a German Shepherd hound for a companion. The dog named Jack and Mrs. J got to be best friends real soon. He loved Gardner night and day and howling at the moon. She never hardly left her pet all by herself alone, except when she went shopping to get her dog a bone. One day she sensed trouble when she opened the front door. Her best friend was doubled up, writhing on the floor. Jack, who loved his mistress, was gasping for a breath. He was in plumb distress, choking most to death. His breathing was real labored. She had to save her pet. She called out to the neighbor. They whisked him to the vet. The vet plunged a breathing straw into the shepherd's neck. There's something stuck there in his craw. Don't know what. I'll have to check. X-rays will show if it's cold blue or just something he ate. Go home and rest. I'll call you if I have to operate. The phone rang just as she got in. The caller sounded urgent. To a frantic warning from the veterinary surgeon. Call 911. Get out the house. Make sure that you don't linger. I cut open your pooch's mouth. He ate 3 human fingers. Police responded to her call and then commenced the searching. They might need backup and all to where there are bad guys in there lurking. One cop opened the closet door. It's an ambulance we're needing. There's a crook here crying on the floor and seriously bleeding. The burglar jumped there through the roof. He was acting downright wicked. I ain't coming out. There's a big bad wolf. He ate my 3 little piggies. There was one scared thief in the house that day, causing all that racket. The ambulance came and took him away, bound in a straitjacket. The veterinarian sewed up Jack, sent him home to howl at the moon again. The burglar got his fingers back, was tried and thrown in the loony bin. This story has an epilogue that I hope everyone follows. Be sure and train your killer dog to chew before he swallows. Thank you.
Mute yourselves. Give it up for the Urban Cowboy Poet.
UCP,
Urban Cowboy
another UCP legend.
The Urban Cowboy Poet with his poetic license. And I happen to be a dog man, so I'm kind of biased to the poem. Urban Cowboy Poet, where can the people find you online?
Urban Cowboy Poetry, Facebook and YouTube. My poetic licenses, can you see them? On the back, I got legends. That's the elephant poop one.
I love it.
The gators. I got a bunch of them.
Nice. The Urban Cowboy Poet. Make sure you go check him out. He's on YouTube. The Urban Cowboy Poetry. Dude's a legend, man. Love it. All right, Elaine the doll is next, but I don't see Elaine here. Shout out to Mariela Cabrera. She's been coming in and out, so she's always checking us out. Shout out to you, Mariela. And shout out to Scott Pleasance. I think I mentioned him, but just in case, Scott Pleasance and the Keela. I don't know who Keela is, but I see someone with the name Keela, and I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Kaila or Keela? I hope I'm saying it right. Nonetheless, you are being noticed. Appreciate you being around here. So without Elaine Nadal here, that means we're going to the Skiff verse with Paul Skiff, loving his background. Paul, good to see you, brother. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Great to be. It's more than great to be here with everybody again. This is kind of a spoof poem. I'm just going to skip around in it to keep it somewhat short. It's kind of the theme or title is The East Village That Never Was. Seeing Allen Ginsberg try to pick up Patti Smith until he figured out she was a girl. The 1988 Tompkins Square police riot caused when the cops saw people were protesting possibility of a Dunkin' Donut shop on Avenue A. Miguel Pinheiro, the famous playwright, didn't get busted hopping the subway turnstile, so he actually did show up to accept his Tony Award, which he then promptly sold on the sidewalk of Avenue C for train fare to the Bronx. The crack epidemic ended when the army of 12-year-old dealers took their new business skills to intern on Wall Street. The 5,000 art galleries all moved to Soho by 1989 after having succeeded selling home and office decorations to the slumlords who bought the kitschy art with the gallerists' own rent money. Mayor Dave Dinkins ordered the shutdown of Tompkins Square Park for 2 years, but left the dog run open because it was not enough pleasure for him to crap on the voters only once. The Ramones were recreated by Walt Disney as part of a plan to build a punk rock theme park on the Bowery, But it all failed when Hilly Crystal broke his contract by refusing to turn the men's room at CBGB's into the gift shop. The founder of Two Boots Pizza, in a desperate attempt to finance his indie film, salted the pies with methamphetamine, and even though the flick bombed, the slices still have the audience hooked. The police helicopter hovering 100 feet over your apartment, blasting your room with the searchlight at 2:30 a.m. is really just a revenge dream had by the 4-inch roach that you chased under the kitchen sink. Peter missing, got lost in Richard Hell. Lydia Lunch was eaten by Rob Zombie. Cheetah Chrome had his tailpipe polished by RuPaul. The 15-year-old shoving his 38 snub-nosed man stopper at my midsection saying he wants my money is really an apartment broker in training, and the fear he wants from me is a deposit he will use to buy his own past back from humiliation. The 5-story walk-up that exploded from an illegal gas line ripoff was the result of random disaster big-time real estate counts on, like a bicycle delivery boy buys lotto tickets. The article I read off a scrap of newspaper blown into my face on Avenue B about the last 2 hollow point rounds of the 47 undercover cops fired into Amadou Diallo makes me think those rounds ended up in the bottom of his feet because he got bored and laid down to wait for racism to end, knowing it probably never would. When the ghoulish Mayor Giuliani sent hundreds of police goons with a tank to attack the squats on 13th Street, he was just trying to scare Rosario Dawson out of her sweat equity apartment so he could corner her into a date. I'll stop there. That's enough history of the Lower East Side that never was. Thanks, everybody, for being here again, as some other people voiced the sentiment.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
We
The
wanted more.
history of the LES. Thank you, Paul.
Yes, that was great, Paul.
Part 2.
Always fire.
Yo, you always bring it, Skip. Always, man. Appreciate that.
Jedi Master.
Paul Skiff, like I say, he's the OG here at the New Rican Poets Cafe. Let me unmute him. My Zoom is a little slow. I'm sorry, I'm pressing buttons. There we go. Paul, go ahead. Let the people know where they can find you and what you wanted to say.
Oh, sorry. This is paulskiff.com. I don't want to take up any more time. Just thanks everybody for being here. Everybody, you are very vital to me. And as many people say, this really makes it possible to keep putting one foot in front of the other. So thanks again. I really appreciate you all.
Thank you, Paul. Paul Skiff, paulskiff.com. Make sure they go check him out. Like I say, he's an OG with the New Rican Poets Cafe. He mentioned Two Boots Pizza. In Tompkins Square Park, I used to host the summer film festival that was sponsored by Two Boots Pizza. And I met Don King there, who I thought was huge. This dude, I towered over him. I'm like 6'1", and I towered over him. I also met Gilbert Godfrey, and this was back when he had done something wrong and it was all in the news. And they told me I had to make fun of him when I invited him on stage to speak in front of people. So I remember saying this thing, and afterwards I felt like I was so cruel. Why did I do that? But, you know, I was young, and the producers gave me money and told me this is what I was supposed to do. So I did it. But all right, moving forward. Jane Spoken Word is next. Let me unmute Jane. Go ahead, Jane. Good to see you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And it's always a gas, a stone cold groove to be with you guys. So tonight I'm sticking on theme, and I'm paying homage to Gil Scott-Heron. This is my remix. I am part of the conspiracy that conjures truth and knowledge. And I am in this physical world born to a seeking voyage. The truth above all else brings a new reality. Examine the examiner. Question the questioner, because you see, you mustn't believe their lies. You have tuned in, plugged in, bought in, opted in, texted in, and Wi-Fi'd in, but there will be no email notification when it begins. Because, my brothers, the revolution will not be televised. And no, no way, my sisters, despite your eyes, the revolution will not be digitized. The revolution will not be televised, digitized, matrixized, or any otherwise. It will not be. We got bushwhacked because Chads weren't mechanized. And they gave us a war with no body bags, so toe tags can't be visualized. Brought fear to panic in true political style, fattening up their war machine, smiling all the while, spewing visions of global democracies, politicized alibis, freedom prize, and gossip trivialities. As voices tweet in the faraway East, here in America, the censoring beast is alive and thriving, spying, prying, and flagging what you're posting. They have you Facebook, Twitter, and Googleized as you dream your life politicized and answered wise with smart lies, blindly believing that freedoms are a guaranteed prize, blindly believing that freedom are for private eyes. Unwittingly occupied and compromised, you got your cable TV and your digital Blu-ray to high-speed deliver their delusions your way, to keep you lost in confusion, stuck to illusion. Is it or is it not the same old thing in this, our America, land of the free, where pigs shooting down brothers all across our nation, where whitey's wasting black folks are on newsfeed rotations, with the orange man president with the wig hat on, lurking behind his curtain, perpetrating his con, where the cheesehead governor blocked the sites united, where Facebook friends are no longer cited, where dissenting opinions and thinkers of free are amended and deleted. They simply cease to be in this, our America, land of hypocrisy. The revolution has been cloaked with lies as time flies. It's time to rethink time, line by line, break out from the ties and realize the truths have been disguised and sanitized. And the revolution will not be brought to you by MSN, CNN, or some bullshit called Fox. And the revolution will not be delivered to your door by Verizon, Time Warner, or Cox. Sisters and brothers, there is no map to identity. When you question your reality, a crucial detail will arise. The revolution ain't about your flashy bling. And the revolution ain't about your G phone thing. And the revolution will not happen between some lies. And the revolution will not happen between Ms. Jones' thighs. And the revolution will not be televised. And the revolution will not be digitized live, because the revolution is not online. The revolution is in your mind, and it will be poeticized. The revolution will be poeticized. It will be, it will, it is, because the revolution is the revolution. Peace.
Give it up for James Spoken Word.
Great. Great.
That's what I'm talking about, Jay. The revolution will be poeticized.
Jane has been bringing the heat the last few weeks, jumping onto our open mic. Jane, where can the people find you online?
You can find me at IG, Jane Spoken Word. I have a website, janespokenword.com, where you can hear me busting it with my bass player. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you all so much for the enlightenment tonight. The word, y'all are the bomb.
Thank you, Jane Spoken Word. Make sure you look her up. She's gonna put her info in the chat. Give her a follow. I'm loving it. I'm loving the vibe. I'm loving the fingerless gloves too. I'm loving the background, like all of it, the whole vibe, man. All right, I got room for one more person. We may go a couple of minutes over, but I got room for one more person. Oh, there's Poetical's beautiful face. What's up, brother? I shouted you out before. I hope all is well with you. We're now going to Catherine Sweeney. She has been playing hooky and cutting class for weeks. I am happy we're finally able to get her onto the open mic. No?
I mean, I wasn't ready, but I'll go. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I got you listed here. You're the last one that I'm gonna get to on the waiting list.
Okay.
So
I'll go. Let me go. Hold on.
no pressure. You're just the last person to go. You're just ending this incredibly great night. So no pressure at all.
No pressure at all. Hold on.
Thousands of people are gonna rewatch this, and they're gonna be watching you hesitating, fumbling, looking for your poem. Don't worry about it.
Honestly did not. I didn't think that you were going to get to me. It's a long one. Hold on. I get there.
Just
okay.
Recorded for everyone to see in 10, 20 years.
Right. Don't do it to me.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay.
Right,
this is a poem called Fragments of Leftover Abundance. It's a list poem. When I have no place to put my grief, I leave it everywhere. Out the window, there are empty basins, dry mountains, an extra large reservoir. This morning, an earthquake. The kids call it dry socket, earth carcass. Spent 20 minutes in the kitchen thinking about your hands pulling my ass toward you. When we moved, I carved our names into the soft cement out front of the apartment. Ran past a flattened squirrel, brain coming out of his mouth, took a picture, feel broken. Tried to experience things, branded a light pink falcon into my thigh. Let a series of blurry men fill me with semen. Nothing left but the smell of low tide. Left all of my hair matted to the shower wall, tried to clog the drain. Woke up in a pool of my own piss 7 hours late to work. Stole a Sharpie, drew your hands folded over my hands and lied about it. Is this what finally binds me to you? The bird or the road or the walk? You said the color of juniper is the same color as desire. That winter we ran a task force and you sucked me into the earth. That time you made everyone in the room disappear without using words. There is no sunlight without your face. The magnetism of a city at night, a t-shirt worn down to the threads, the olive tree in the yard that doesn't bear fruit.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Catherine.
Nice, Catherine.
Tonight.
Peace and love.
Good job.
Thanks, guys.
Way to end.
Thanks for
Catherine Sweeney, another mainstay at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. She's always bringing it. Catherine, where can the people follow you online? Oh, no, you got to unmute yourself. I'm asking to unmute you now. It's all right. Just there you go.
At Kate Renaud on Instagram. I'll put it in the chat.
Please do. Thank you. Catherine Sweeney. Look at that, man. How awesome is this community? She was on the waiting list and she was just like, oh, well, I'm not going to make it, but I'm going to stay here the whole 2.5 hours and listen to y'all. Like that was so organic. Like, oh, shoot, you're going to get to me. That's crazy. I wasn't even ready. I appreciate that. I'm sorry to Ron Mark Thompson, Scott Pleasance, Rebecca Burns, and Poetic Desire. They were left on the waiting list, but it is that time we have to end the night. Again, we aren't always able to get to everyone in the waiting list or anyone. We got to about half the waiting list tonight. Again, if you want to sign up 24 hours before the show, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, you go to nuyorican.org. Then you would click on full events calendar, you click on the Monday that you wanted to sign up for, and then you would get an artist RSVP ticket. That is the only way to get on the open mic list, is with the artist RSVP ticket. Make sure that you get that. Make sure you follow the follow the New York Poets Cafe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all of that. And of course, you can find me online at Advocate of Words, that's spelled with a Z at the end because poetic license. With that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. And as always, I have the honor of hosting. I'm Advocate of Words. I will see your beautiful faces next Monday, or on Thursday, if you're going to be there. I'm going to stop by on Thursday, La Bruja host, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, I'm out. I'm going to go watch Big Bang Theory. Peace.